The Patriot Conference and the Three Rivers Conference open league play on Friday, September 13th. Friday the 13th, a rain shower came through, but the teams were able to get in their games in this wacky high school football season. It was week 4. Let's take a look at what happened on Friday night. We'll start with the Patriot Conference, where the Fayetteville Observer's game of the week was at Randy Ledford Field, and it was all Southview, led by Matthew Pemberton, who rushed for a school record 300 yards, according to statistician Mike Moline. Scored 3 touchdowns as the Tigers roll past Grays Creek 42-3, 4th year in a row they've won the Battle of the Bridge. Tough night for the Bears, who suffered their first loss of the season. They only had a field goal from Jay Haggins. That was it. Jerry Garcia Jr., the leading rusher in Cumberland County, coming into the game. He was held pretty much in check by a stout Southview defense, as the Tigers have now won 3 straight since opening the season, with an overtime loss to rival Jack Britt. Elsewhere in the Patriot Conference, the Terry Sanford Bulldogs win their league opener, holding off a very determined E.E. Smith team 24-21. The difference in the game, those 3 points, a 27-yard field goal by Hunter Wiggins. That came in the third quarter. E.E. Smith had a chance at the end to possibly win the game, driving after a Terry Sanford fumble with about a minute or so to go. Golden Bulls got down close, threw a couple of deep passes, could not score that final again. Terry Sanford 24, E.E. Smith 21. Jacob Knight, 2 touchdown passes and a touchdown run for the Bulldogs, or make that 3 touchdown passes. E.E. Smith quarterback Deshaun McCulloch, 3 touchdown passes as well, 2 of those to Brian Davis. Wild one at Harold K. Warren Stadium on Friday night that saw Pine Forest hold off Overhills 41-32. The Trojans snap a 2-game losing streak and start off defense of their Patriot Conference title with a victory. The odd thing about this game, 67 points were scored in the first half. Very little scoring in the second half. In fact, just that lone touchdown that was scored by Kuili Bandeman with less than a minute to go. Again, the final, Pine Forest 41, Overhills 32. Jaden Jones passed for 2 touchdowns, ran for a score, and DJ Jones, the UNC commit who had missed the past 2 games with injury, he was back. He ran for 2 touchdowns and caught a touchdown pass. Chris Perkins, what about the Overhills quarterback? He came into the game having thrown 11 touchdowns and passed for more than 700 yards as Overhills won its first 3 games. Jaguars go down to defeat tonight, but Perkins scores 2 touchdowns, passes for 2 touchdowns, both of those to Nasir McDaniel. The other game in the Patriot Conference saw Douglas Byrd over Westover 36-22. The final there, Alton Simmons 4 touchdowns for the Eagles as they win their conference opener and get their first win of the season. Simmons scored on runs of 5, 21, and 3 yards. Keshawn Lindsey 195 yards rushing for Westover and a score. Lindsey started out the season a bit slow. He's drawn the attentions of some major college recruiters, but he got it going tonight, 195 yards rushing. The Cape Fear Colts had the night off. They'll play Terry Sanford next Friday at Reed Ross Classical School for the Bulldogs' first quote-unquote home game. Remember, their stadium's being worked on, and so they're having to play their games at Reed Rock Classical at John Daskell Stadium. Other games in the Patriot next week have Pine Forest at Grays Creek, Southview at Douglas Byrd, E.E. Smith at Overhills. Let's turn to the Sandhills Conference, where these teams are still in non-league play, but some great games as well. One of those out at Lloyd Almond Stadium that saw the 71st Falcons lose for the first time this season. Southern Durham coming to town, the Spartans coming away with a 21-18 victory. Elsewhere in the Sandhills, it was Scotland 35, Greenville Conley 8. The Scots get 3 touchdown runs from Savion Leak. Coach Richard Bailey's been concerned about his offense here in the early going, but they got it going tonight. Defense strong as always. One of the top games in the state was in Raleigh tonight, where the Richmond Raiders traveled to take on the Cardinal Gibbons Crusaders, and the Raiders win again. Jaheim Covington, 3 touchdowns. Caleb Hood runs for 2 touchdowns, throws for a score. The Raiders go to 4-0 with a 45-28 win at Cardinal Gibbons. Big win for Richmond there as they set their sights on a state championship. The undefeated Lee County Yellow Jackets pick up win number 4. They hand Hoke County its first loss of the season. Lee County wins 24-6. Colin Johnson with a touchdown run and a touchdown pass for Lee County. Hoke's score comes on a Warren Avery 8-yard run. Again, the first loss for Hoke County this season. Pinecrest rolls past Union Pines in a battle of Moore County teams. The Patriots 49-6 was the final there. Nick Bollinger, 2 touchdown runs. And Lumberton evens its record at 2-2 with a 21-14 win over Wilmington Laney at Alton Brook Stadium. Nice win for Lumberton. You know, when Friday night started, 6 of the 8 Sandhills Conference teams were undefeated. As we end Friday night and get ready to go into week 5, that list has been cut to 4. Richmond, Scotland, Pinecrest, all 4-0. They won Friday night. Jack Britt, which was idle, is 3-0. Now, only 2 of these 8 Sandhills Conference teams play next Friday in the final week before conference play begins. Jack Britt plays at New Hanover, Purnell Sweat at Wilmington Hoggard. Among the independent schools, a couple of scores to note. On Thursday night, the Trinity Christian Crusaders routed Harrell's Christian 56-0 to take control of the Big East. Boy, they are looking good. Check out some of these statistics from Trinity Christian. Siobhan McEachern, touchdown runs of 24, 71, and 80 yards. He only carried the ball 7 times, rushed for 220 yards. What's that, 31 yards a carry? Yeah, that'll work. Quarterback Raymond Campos, 6 for 6 passing, 235 yards, including a 90-yard touchdown pass to Jaquan Gibson. Sadavian Wembley returns a fumble, 58 yards. Fayetteville Christian has gone to 8-man football this year, part of the Big 8 Conference among the North Carolina Independent Scholastic Athletic Association schools. The Warriors won their first game a week ago, come up short Friday night. Raleigh Grace Christian beats Fayetteville Christian 39-34. Let's check out in the Cape Fear region. I mentioned the Three Rivers 2A, 1A conference began its league play on Friday night, and let's check out some of those results, some of them quite impressive. The St. Paul's Bulldogs, if you have not heard of McKees Coleman, you will. He had 232 yards and 6 touchdowns last night as St. Paul's defeated East Columbus 41-6 to go to 3-0 overall, 1-0 in the league. It's the 3rd straight games that Coleman has rushed for more than 200 yards. Red Springs, what about those Red Devils? They go down to Tabor City and rout South Columbus 49-7. Lee McLean with 3 touchdowns for the Red Devils. Robisonian sports editor Jonathan Bim tells us that that is the first win for Red Springs over South Columbus in football. Also, if you want to go back further than that, it's the first win for Red Springs in Tabor City since 1975. Remember the old Tabor City team led by Jack Holly, so it's been a while. Fairmont shuts out West Bladen 46-0. Derek Baker with 3 touchdowns. Jamarian McLeod with 2 scores for the Golden Tornadoes, who go to 2-1. Elsewhere, Whiteville shuts out East Bladen 48-0. East Bladen, West Bladen, both scoreless on Friday night, both 0-3 this season. Tough start in Bladen County for their teams. Next Friday night in the Three Rivers Conference, it will be West Columbus at Fairmont, West Bladen at Red Springs, South Columbus at East Bladen, Whiteville at East Columbus. Some other scores of note, games involving Tri-County 3A teams. Green Hope slipped past Triton 28-21. Harnett Central 16, Southeast Raleigh 12, Southern Lee 44, Cedar Ridge nothing. The Cavaliers go to 2-2 for the season. In the East Central 2A Conference, the Clinton Dark Horses moved to 2-0 with a convincing 41-12 win at Oxford Webb. Midway outscores Lakewood 42-22 in a Sampson County battle. Cameron Barefoot with a touchdown reception. He also returned an interception for a touchdown. Jaden Covington 2 touchdowns along with Deontay Byrd as the Raiders go to 3-0. Lakewood at 2-2. The Hopton Wildcats improved to 4-0 with a 56-27 win over the Spring Creek Gators. Union Spartans now 3-1 with a 58-6 win against Jones Senior. That's a look at the scores from Friday night. I invite you to join me and Rod Baxley for the 910 Preps podcast. We release it on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Hope you enjoyed your game Friday night.